Ding.
How'd you turn this down?
Why's Jenny gone black? Forged in the lockdown. Hello and welcome to Critical Questions, the Unfathomable quiz. I've trawled the internet for the best, worst, most interesting and ridiculous dumb questions I can find. And with any luck, my guests will be able to answer all of them.
Then again, maybe we won't be able to.
You will? I have
We
faith.
just won't, period.
Yeah, probably not.
Maybe we just don't care to.
A lot of it's going to depend on whether Dave answers his own questions or not.
It
I
depends on
answer
whether or not
every
the check-
question accurately.
Depends
Go on.
Depends on whether or not the check bounces.
Yeah.
Something will bounce.
Does anyone know where the audio options are in Age of Empires 3?
No. How is that a relevant question?
Oh, I thought we were contributing questions today.
Yeah.
No. I see empty boxes. There is one empty box. It's Quinton's, which I'm assuming he's fallen asleep and will be here shortly. Oh, right. Hello. Today we have got with us me.
Oh, there it is.
What up?
Jeff,
Ahoy.
Jenny,
Hi, good morning.
Manda, and Badger.
Now available on MySpace, where I will tell you in detail how Disney is not canon.
I thought you were moving to that other one.
What, Gab?
No. Well,
Well,
yes.
he was. I thought he was going to do Parler, but hey ho, what happens?
Yeah, I'm on Gab. Have you seen the creator of Gab going off about how Christian he is on Twitter? I'm uploading all my old atheist stuff to it.
Is Gab much of a video platform?
No, it's awful for videos. I can't get them to upload.
I've never even heard of it.
It's the one with the frog.
The one with the frog.
Yeah.
You could always use Pornhub as an option, Badger.
No, you can't anymore. Not unless I became a proper registered Pornhub contributor.
What do you have
I'm
to?
considering.
How many acts do you have to do that?
I don't know. I don't know whether badgers qualify, to be honest.
You'd have to prove you're a badger. I'm fairly certain that requires several naked pictures with a signed newspaper
literally
saying you're
see
not
me
being held
right now.
hostage. Not naked.
How do you know? I've got a blanket.
Because the blanket counts as clothes.
Ah,
I'm not going to show you what's under it. I'm cozy.
this is Dave's world. Now blankets are clothes.
They're clothes when you're wearing them like that.
What, on your
Right.
body?
Yes. I mean, what's the difference between that and a toga?
The material?
A toga has a clasp.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And that
Toga
has the
don't.
collective will of everyone in the room.
Togas are usually just tied closed.
Yeah.
I thought you were trying to get me out of it, Dave.
I never said I was trying to get you out of it. I just said you weren't naked. Right.
Actually, I think, Jenny, the traditional toga had a round thing they slid the cloth
Yeah.
through to hold them together.
What, based on what, Hollywood?
No, I think it was a pin. A literal circle and a
Yeah.
pin.
Was it a
that went-
pin? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at some point anyway.
Maybe.
I mean, I know that the big one that went wee and around and around, and that didn't need particularly to be held, but they still tended to pin it. But that's based on a very bad memory.
Togas are very comfy.
No, they're heavy. A decent toga.
Well, yeah, we were in high school. We always use bed sheets. That's not very.
You're saying a lot of things that I want to respond to, but probably shouldn't.
Go on.
No.
If you shouldn't respond, that's usually the best responses.
You have such control for a badger.
Most badgers I've met want to tear your face off.
Why are you
What's
going
the
that
difference?
close to badgers, Dave?
You could get this badger to want to tear your face off easily.
No,
Disney
don't
is-
you
Disney
dare!
is canon.
Ah!
Told you.
Is this badger canon?
I have a badger cannon.
What the hell happened to your audio then?
Well, I screamed into the microphone, so I fucked it up.
You very much did. It adjusted.
Dave,
Yes.
let's do a question.
A question. Okay. Right. Question 1376. Do you love or loathe snow? Why?
Love it.
I'm gonna say on the spectrum, it's closer to loathe.
Jenny?
I don't. It's not something you can just love or hate. There's many situations. Just like the Inuit have so many different words to describe snow. It's because snow is so different. The relationship you have with it is so different from moment to moment. Sometimes it's a horrible pain in the ass, and sometimes it's one of the most lovely, fun things you can ever experience. So it's really.
Well, this
it's
is
just-
why
it's
it's a
just not
complicated
complicated.
thing that you've got to sum up with a one-word answer.
It's all right. So this really just shows the limit of your questioning.
Yes.
Well,
It's,
really, Dave, I would say that where I used to live, I hated snow because there was so much of it. But
Yeah.
now where I live, we only randomly get it. We usually get it at the most like 3 times a month in the winter, and it's no more than 4 to 6 inches at the most. So the worst I have to do is start up my vehicle early and let it defrost. But where I used to live, I hated it because it was so deep all the time. Now I love it.
And it's a perfect day to be asking that question because we're supposed to get anywhere between 3 to 10 inches today.
I'm supposed to get sunshine all day.
Oh. Right. Wild Eden says, love it. Lone Wanderer says, I love snow because I never see it on the regular. Donna says, I love snow. Sandy says, depends on what the snow is. There are many types of snow. No. Ox says, snow is the white blanket of cold death. I don't think he likes it. The only good snow is it comes in a cone when flavoured with syrup. Jeff?
I enjoyed it more when I was a kid because it meant you probably have the day off of school.
It doesn't mean that to kids anymore. They're not nearly enjoying snow days as much.
No, it's
Chad says, I love snow. I miss having it often. Had a lot more of it growing up. Now the grass is green all winter with only a few storms. No childhood is complete without digging a snow fort. Never had enough snow for a snow fort. DOG says, love it. Grew up in inner city Liverpool and my area was a shithole. Snow made it look pretty. We don't get snow here. Almost never do we get snow here. We have to go up to the Horseshoe Pass if we wanted to do anything.
I think because like where I am, we very, very rarely get it. When we do get a decent amount of snowfall, it really causes chaos because we're never prepared for it.
Wait, what year were you born?
Me?
Yeah.
78.
See, the climate had already started changing by then. We noticed it between the winters we had in the 50s and the winters we had in the 70s already. Things are not the same. The things have changed. And if you look at, if you go back and look at some of the, I forget what they call it. It's not. What's the word for the checking bumps on your head?
Phrenology.
The word is really close, but it's the study of environmental changes, seasonally, and people have been recording this stuff for hundreds of years. That they saw their first robin on such and such date, or saw the first thing, and it's been clear since the 70s that it's changed. So you just never had the benefit. It probably snowed a lot more there before you were born.
That's actually, yeah, Jenny, I agree with that. When I was 6 years old, we got like 4 foot of snow overnight, and it had like an icy coating on it.
Mm-hmm.
And my brothers dug a tunnel underneath of the ice and made like a maze. And I remember they told me that if I stood up and broke the ice, that I was out of the game, and I didn't want to be out of the game because I followed them everywhere and wanted to do whatever they were doing. So I was in there crying because I couldn't get my way out of the maze. Yep, 6 years old, crying in an ice maze, on my hands and knees.
What's that film with that guy on a train with a hammer?
What?
Old Boy. That's it. That's you, Dave.
What?
Never heard of that.
Anyway, snow is the best thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
The best thing.
I like it. I like it both physically and philosophically.
How do you like it philosophically?
Well, let me explain physically first. Physically, snow is just excellent. You know, it's cold and it's fluffy, and if you compact it, it's slippy, and then you can make it into things, and it makes everything all black and white and pretty. Because anything that when you go out and it's snowing, but it's also bright, anything that's not the white of the snow by contrast just looks black. So it makes everything look all snazzy. And I like it philosophically because it brings a lot of Western societies to a grinding halt, and I really like that. I think people rush around too much and need to be forced to slow down.
Snow does that, but they're not used to it. Tobin says, in my region, snow's not an issue, which means you don't have an opinion. Brainbug says, I dislike snow. It's super gross fucking ice and cold too. Never Again says, my back hates moving snow, but my soul loves being snowed in. Why do people move snow? Never understood that one. Why do people shovel driveways?
So they're usable?
Some people occasionally need to leave home. Weirdos.
Because when you get on the average of 60 inches of snow a year, you got to do something, or you're not going to be getting around to the grocery store or anything.
Get a 4x4.
That means you'd have to clear. That means you'd have to clear the driveway of snow, though, before you went up and got a 4x4.
All right, let's move to Upper Michigan, where you get 12 feet of snow a year.
Yep, Traverse is nasty in the winter. I've been there.
Yeah, you got to do something with it. It's just you can't just let it sit there. These white guys.
9 o'clock hero says snow was great when you didn't have to clear it or trudge to work in it. So I enjoyed going to work in it. Again, I have a 4x4, so that kind of cheats, but it's great fun. Anytime I ever actually get to use my 4x4 as a 4x4.
You know what I love about snow the most, honestly, when it's a really like thick snow and it shuts down everything, and it's deep.
Absolutely.
It's so quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's so quiet. It dampens all the sound. Everything looks clean. Everything looks pretty and sparkly. And so it's like Mother Nature decorated for us.
I love what it does to the sound. I think it's just so cool that stillness.
Absolutely.
And if you ever get up early in the morning, 4 or 5 o'clock before the sun, sun up till 7. But get up at 5 or 6 after a snowfall and go outside. It's deafening. It's so quiet.
I enjoyed. There was a winter we played Ingress when it snowed for several weeks, and it was the nicest time to play. You end up in all these weird places where it's blanketed in white, and it was just brilliant. Ox says, depends on periods. During periods of exceptionally cold weather, badgers will often use a latrine inside the set rather than venturing outside. Do you piss in the corner, Badger?
What do you think a latrine is, Dave? It's not just a corner.
No, that's
it's a
pretty
hole.
much.
It's a hole in the corner.
Oh,
it doesn't go
there's
anywhere.
a hole. That makes it.
Just piss in the corner, you uncultured swine. Dig a hole first.
You do realise you're calling all the people with flushing toilets uncultured here, Badger.
Flushing? What is this? Water running through shit.
Chad says snow melts and refreezes to ice. It's about
Dig a
safety.
hole,
Getting in that
put poo in it,
What?
and then you bury it again.
As opposed to using it.
Fertilizer. Fertilizer.
And your house smells so nice when you do that.
Yeah. You bury shit all over your
Well,
house.
That's how you tell which badgers live where.
It's it helps him because he doesn't really like visitors, so that helps.
Exactly. Also gives me ammunition for when I go to visit Disney.
Manda.
I love it. I grew up in it.
You grew up in it?
Yeah. New
you like it?
England.
New England gets lots of snow. Yeah.
Does it? See, the problem is I always imagine her as living in Georgia and that the sun never stops shining.
Mm-hmm. We got snow here a couple of years ago. Like an inch. That's my head.
Well, you've got the tough genes. People who grew up in New England understand snow and are generally pretty tough people.
Yeah. Blizzards, kind of stuff.
I've only ever been in a blizzard once. I was driving. That was great fun. Never again. Never again says, I'm too good to leave the dome with a pile of snow on my car when I know the main roads are clear. I don't want to dump ice on the main roads. Why? It just smashes and goes away.
No, it doesn't.
It does!
No, it refreezes and turns into ice. And it gets very
No.
slick. And then you
See, what we
slide
have
right
is
off
we have these things called gritters that go around multiple times a day to make sure the roads are clear.
Oh, is that like a snow plow?
Oh dear.
Except when it snows.
Except when it snows, they don't work. Thank you very much, Dog, for your £5.
Oh, I've been given a shout out in one of Hops's beer reviews articles.
Have you?
Yeah.
Can I have £5?
I don't know why I didn't drink this stuff.
I was in Minneapolis once for a weekend hanging out with some friends, and there was a kind of surprise snowstorm. It was fairly early in the year, early December. They get snow. We get snow around here in December, but usually not that much at the beginning. But this one was like a 12-incher, and it came all of a sudden, dumped its ass over the span of one afternoon. And
what porn was this?
Pardon?
What porn was this?
This was in Minneapolis.
Sounds like good porn.
And that's significant because it's a part of the country that is used to snow, has the equipment to deal with it, has the experience to deal with it. But this came so fast, so hard, before everybody was ready for winter. It just paralyzed the city. And so this shit and snow came down, and people were at work and school and blah blah blah. I had to drive home, and they started making ruts and shit in the snow that was plowing the street. And then the backside of the storm came, where it dropped down to about 10 degrees, and all that shit on the snow on the streets froze, and the entire city of Minneapolis for like a week and a half was stuck with, you could only drive in the ruts, and if you had a small car that was low, forget it. Just park
screwed.
it. Don't even try. It was so you can't just leave snow there.
Of course you can. It just goes away. The problem is that we get so little snow here. Seraphim says, I love how snow looks like glitter. Never again says, snow sparkles are the best sparkles. And then Seraphim says, the roof of the shithole I live in probably won't survive snow. And Jeff says Disney is canon.
That's why you should live underground. Fuck yourself, Jeff.
Never again says, oh, it snows in GA. I was in Georgia Tech in 77 and it shut the city down. Ox says, I live in upstate New York, used to get 3 feet overnight. See, 3 foot of, I've never seen 3 foot of snow.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a meter deep.
Dave, this is why I was saying. This is why I was saying yes. This is another reason why I think living in New York would be shit. This goes back to yesterday.
Just enough snow to make sure all the silly humans stay inside is fine.
Sarah says, last time it snowed in Georgia, people were convinced it was fake snow. Doug says,
The government created snow. This is a conspiracy theory.
It's the damn
bring Trump down.
Democrats did this.
Doug says, snow gives the British transport operators genuine excuse to their usual shit service and why their timetables are a waste of paper.
They're going to defend Blighty's transport systems for a bit because I've travelled on the SNCF in France and they are fucking way worse.
That doesn't necessarily mean that ours are good.
Doesn't mean ours are good. It's just that, relatively speaking, there are worse ones.
Granny says, when I grew up, it never snowed in July or August. I've seen snow all the rest of the year. See, we had a really weird year a couple of years ago. Where we had snow at the start and the end.
The latest I've seen snow is June, and the earliest has been September. So that's July, August. July, August.
I haven't seen snow in about 2.5, 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
But that
we've
never had a tornado. We've never had a tornado in February either.
We had some about a week and a half ago, but it's not exactly. I mean, it snowed. We didn't have snow. The ground wasn't at the right temperature for it to lay. So.
Well, they shut down Merseyrail because of the blizzard.
Have any of you been through thunder snow?
Yes, I think I have. I think I was driving.
Yes.
It's such a massive storm that it's thunder and lightning while it snows. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I don't know. Right. I think we should do the next question. People like snow a lot.
Dave.
What?
Dave.
Yeah, I love snow.
Why?
I don't get any. I want thick snow that everything. I want it to snow enough that I'm the only person that can drive.
Why are you the only person that can drive?
Because I'm the only person with a 4x4. I mean, that's not the only person with a 4x4, but you know.
Everybody else down there, everybody else has Priuses.
Have you seen some of the mothers who pick their kids up from school, David?
To be fair, but they don't tend to have real 4x4s.
Did you just call him David?
Yes.
Weird.
I'll make him
I've
suffer.
got some of those clip-on snow
I'm being
shoes
formal.
just in case we get 2012.
Just having a 4x4 isn't the answer either. You have to know how to drive them in the winter. It's a whole different skill set.
Yep, I've managed to slide my 4x4, which is quite impressive.
I challenge you to come spend a winter in Minnesota.
Yeah, you'll slide around every corner. Jenny, when we were growing up, one of the things we had to do before we were allowed to get our driver's license, our mom would take us up to this department store. It had this huge parking lot with no curbs in it, and like the random light pole every few every few aisles or whatever. And she'd take us up there and at night in more than a foot of snow and tell us, okay, go faster. Okay, hit the brakes and control it. And that's how we got used to the driving in the snow. She would not let us drive on the roads until we did that.
Your mom was a smart.
I would say
Your mom was a smart person.
Oh yeah, she was great, man. Like we had to have practice. She didn't let us just get on the road and try it because it was northern West Virginia. It was pretty nasty in the winter.
My actual driving school happened during the winter in snowstorms. So I actually learned how to drive from day one in this active snow.
Yeah, well, they did that. Yeah, we had to drive in the snow and driver's ed in high school too. Yeah, and it had to be a standard vehicle. Couldn't be an automatic, and there was a bunch of hills, and they would make us stop on the hills in the snow. Yeah, just slide down.
Yeah, a manual transmission is the most effective thing you can have in the snow.
Yeah, you get the most control. Absolutely.
Right, next question.
And a proper operating handbrake so you can do handbrake turns.
No.
I've had
That's not a requirement.
I've been caught out when it started snowing once on a motorcycle. That was not fun.
I'm sure it's no. I don't know. I've never ridden a motorcycle, so. Well, not that I can remember. What happened then? Right, next question.
Right. Moving on.
Question 1377. What is one thing that you say you hate but secretly do anyway?
Ooh. That's hypocrisy. I'm not good at being a
If
hypocrite, Dave.
I told you, it wouldn't be a secret.
That's a good point.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of things I'm not going to answer that with.
Well, what are you going to answer it with?
Next question.
Stool says slamming his knob in the fridge door.
I know. I just read that. That's why I started shaking my head.
Oh, Stool.
Well, I say I hate talking to people, but here I am.
You don't hate. You like talking to people.
In very small doses.
Tobin says smoke cigarettes. Seraphim says Dave's quiz show.
Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that.
And
We'll go with
Badger's
that
still
one.
alive.
All right.
Amanda? I'm gone.
I can't think of anything. Sorry.
Fair enough. Jenny?
Eating Oreo cookies.
Do you hate them?
No, I love them, but several years back, the company sold out to a bunch of corporate raiders, and they just decimated the plant and the workers and stole their retirement from them, and just completely fucked the workers. And I swore I'd never buy another Oreo. And once in a while I do, but never a whole pack. Just those little ones that have like 4 in them.
You mean the ones that are much more profitable to them?
Well, maybe so, but
They really are.
they only cost
make
a
more
buck
money
to
off
begin
that.
with, so how much profit can it be?
You love making things difficult for people, don't you, Dave?
I do. I really do. Dog said Twitter. Ox says tolerate people in public places. Lone Wanderer said watch Disney, drink out of the milk jug, or support Subway. African Humanist, I vape sometimes without nicotine and I'm not a smoker. So the key to vaping. B.
Going off of what Jenny said, I would have to say, even though I hate Chick-fil-A, I still eat there sometimes. It's true. A couple times a year, I will eat some Chick-fil-A. It's really, really good.
But they want you dead.
And my secondary answer is the devil's lettuce.
But you don't say you hate it.
If somebody asked me at work, I would. 'Cause I don't
Well,
want
that's
to lose my
different.
job. I'd totally be like, fucking pothead. I'd say it.
Ox
Damn
says,
druggies.
pee on electric fences. Chad says, I would say I give pretty good advice for someone who rarely follows their own. Kind of makes me a hypocrite. See, if I had to answer this question, I would say being a fucking hypocrite. Rainbow says, soak the chicken in pickle juice, B. It will get the same effect.
Yeah, I actually, as I was just typing, I recently found that out. That they marinate their chicken in pickle juice, and that's why Chick-fil-A's chicken tastes so good and different.
I got some pickle juice downstairs.
I think it tastes awful. Ugh.
Really?
Do you like pickles?
Yeah, I love pickles.
I have an answer.
Go on.
Like alcohol.
Go, man, go.
Alcohol. You're anti-alcohol?
Just don't like drinking. I don't like the taste. I don't like the hangover, any of it. Oh. There you go. There's an answer.
And yet you keep coming on streams for us drunk.
No. You keep talking me into it, Dave.
Harmonica Man
It's
just
always
said
Dave's
drinking.
fault.
I drinking alcohol on live streams. Well, I never. What that was disgusting.
As he takes another swig, but his camera's off.
Actually, I haven't cracked open any beer today. As of yet today.
It's after 4 p.m.
Yeah, I don't want to get too. I might have one in a minute. I don't want to get too wrecked right away because I'm doing Linda's show tonight as well. So
Don't get riggedy
I
riggedy.
can't turn up completely wrecked.
I think maybe you want to then.
Yeah.
Atheist Donna says smoking and drinking, such a model nurse.
Oh, that's why he's over there.
Badger.
Hello. I say that I say that I won't. I say I won't interact with any of Disney Star Wars, but I watch The Mandalorian.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Do you like The Mandalorian?
I do like The Mandalorian.
Did you like the twist at the end?
I just don't consider it canon.
That's how you get round it, is it? That's how you justify it in
Yes.
your head.
Yes.
What's your obsession with canon all about?
Okay, so we should not get into this right now.
We could be here a while, Jenny.
It's not
All right,
relevant.
I'll withdraw the question.
Thank you very much.
Maybe
No,
you should
shut
come on
up.
my channel sometime for a chat about it.
Leave 6 or 7 hours aside.
So that's a bit of a short.
I'm gonna say,
6 or 7 hours. That's just to discuss Mandalorian culture.
Uh-huh.
right, I need to say thank you to Dog for becoming a supporter. Thank you. Seraphim says, "You're all bad influences. I used to be sweet and innocent." I've seen the dates on those posts, and they're before you met us.
I refuse to believe that, Sarah. I really do refuse to believe that.
But B, do you pretend you're not gay or give them a chuckle as you drive away? Well, there, I missed something there.
What?
I don't know. What have I missed?
Referring to Chick-fil-A.
Oh, Chick-fil-A. Do you pretend you're not gay when you go into Chick-fil-A?
Oh, no. If I go to the drive-up window, I hit on the girl behind the counter on purpose.
Outstanding.
Doesn't matter what she looks like. Hey, baby, you want an old white chick or what?
Old.
I'll give you some pickles on your chicken. Never mind.
Chickles on your.
Let me stop there before I get in trouble.
Are we discovering the secret lesbian pickup techniques?
Oh, I got lots of them. I can use any pickup line that a guy uses, and it's cute when I do it, and they get smacked and punched and ignored.
Use any pickle line as well.
It works.
So you like sending random dick pics too, B?
Huh?
I said, so you like sending random dick pics too? Because apparently that's how men flirt now.
Oh, no. I would never disrespect a woman to that point. But I don't know. Maybe I'll think about it. Maybe I'll get pictures of animal dicks and send them out or something. I don't know.
So what random?
I
Wait.
want no part in this.
What unsolicited pictures do you send?
To anybody or someone I'm seeing?
to random girls you might be interested in.
Like sunset pictures?
Unsolicited sunset pictures.
Yes, unsolicited, beautiful landscape pictures. That's what I do.
Do they work better than unsolicited dick pics?
I'm such a man whore. Do they ask for those?
No, do they work better?
Hell yeah, it's more romantic. And I like them better anyways. I really don't want to have pictures of dicks on my phone. I'm good.
Atheist Donna says, B, my DMs are open.
Right. I got you, Donna.
Did you answer, Dave? My Wi-Fi cut out again.
Yes,
Dave.
I I answered. Being a fucking hypocrite. Next question.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, next question is somewhat relevant. Seraphim says, I respond best to memes or cute animals. Dog says, does sending a pic of Donald Trump count as a dick pic? Yes.
Yes, but it's an orange dick pic.
It's
It's not a good one. It's not one that you'd share with your mother afterwards.
I mean, really, wouldn't you probably more likely call it a belly pic? Because that's what you're going to see.
It's like sending someone a picture of a strange fungus when you're trying to figure out if it's edible or not.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a rash.
Slime mold.
That's never happened to you, has it, Badger?
You send this strange picture of the strange fungus, and you say, I found this. It's kind of orange and weird shaped. Is it edible? And you get back, no. It's fucking poison, mate. Don't touch that.
I have never ever gotten a dick pic.
How have you never gotten a dick pic? I've got unsolicited dick pics.
Everybody's
Dave, check your DMs.
I've got solicited dick pics too.
You've got them.
I've got.
Yeah. See, I don't even get them.
I've had unsolicited. Right, next question. Which
Moving on.
Is slightly relevant. Question 1378. Have you ever sent a prospective partner a picture that was not of you?
Never.
Oh, God, no. It's dishonest.
Like passing it off as you?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Like an hour ago.
Oh, well, okay. Are you, wait, what did you say about a partner? You started it.
Wait, what happened?
She said, new phone, new number, who's this? I said, ooh, send nudes, and then sent her a picture of Russell Crowe and said, this is me.
And at the exact same time, I sent him a picture of a naked woman that wasn't me.
That's great.
What's the point of sending a picture that's not you to somebody who's a potential partner? What are they going to keep their eyes closed when you get together?
See, thank you. I don't understand that. I met this chick online years ago, and we met in person, and the pictures she had online were kind of blurry. So I was like, she doesn't know how to take a picture. But no, they were like 20 years old. And she didn't even look like that anymore. And she was like 350 pounds and not thin. I mean, like totally nothing the same. Nothing. And I just didn't even understand that. Like, how could you even... And then I said to her, well, you use like 20-year-old pictures. How do you expect me to be interested when I thought I was talking to this person? And then, it's deceitful. It's lying. And if you would have said that's who you were to begin with, I would feel different about it. And she said, that's me. And I'm like, yeah, 20 years ago. She's like, no, it isn't. I'm like, really? What? Just stop. Stop the lies. Like, yeah.
I think there's a lot of people don't pay that much attention.
Maybe.
All right, I also think there are a lot of desperate people. That getting a meeting is the hardest bit, and once you get the meeting, you can be nice.
Yeah, I'll be nice, and it's okay that I'm 30 years older and gray hair and 200 pounds heavier and everything. No,
but I also think. Go on.
I'm lonely, but I swear if I ever get that fucking desperate, just shoot me.
Chad says nope, never. Lone Wanderer says, Jenny, check your DMs. I think she's sending you an unsolicited dick pic. Never Again says...
She probably did, honestly.
This all post-dates my dating anyway, but no. Seraphim says no. Atheist Donna says nah. Chad says, you can go ahead and start soliciting me. Godless Crony says, I have never had a prospective partner that I didn't meet in person first. I haven't dated since 1980.
Holy.
Date more.
Crap, she's married.
Who just said that?
Godless Granny, she's married.
Oh,
why would she date?
Yeah, she's married. That's different. I thought somebody was challenging me.
Harmonica Man says, nope, never. I don't send pics anyway. Lone Wanderer says, no, I would never. It will only end badly. Dog says, my missus once sent me a pic of a shaven haven and told me for you later. Bedtime comes and it still resembles Brian Blessed down there. Did you ask her who it was? And when she was going to arrive?
Donna said she sends nudes all the time, but just hers.
Yeah.
Oh, Donna, DM's open, just to say. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm not.
Never Again says, it's frankly dishonest to use 20-year-old pictures. Ooh. Where are we up to? God was granted. I got engaged in 1980 and been married ever since. You need to date more. You've missed out on the dating scene. That's the wrong word.
You're not missing much, honestly.
What? How are you not missing much?
Because you only need one partner when you're in love.
No.
Dating is so hard anyways. It's such a pain in the butt.
I don't really.
Hopefully the person I found adores me for a long time and I don't have to do this again.
I don't really get the appeal of a lot of dating, to be honest.
It's not. The problem is, it's not the dating the first bit. It's the next bit. It's the after the first few dates, and you've got about 6 months of just fun.
Then reality crashes in.
Sometimes you get a year out of it.
Right, who didn't answer the question? Badger.
Hello. What was the question?
Right, have you ever sent a prospective partner a picture that was not of you?
You can see how this question falls down with me, can't you?
Yes, very much so. So your answer is yes, then?
No comment.
Jared says, my shortest relationship was 3 years. My shortest relationship, technically, I suppose, was about 4.5 minutes. Did Manda answer?
She's away at the moment, I think, Dave.
She said in the chat, make sure I answer.
She just put something in the chat, so she can't be too far away unless she's.
I've never. I have sent. Where it says the question that says prospective partners. I've never sent somebody, a prospective partner, a photo that was not of me, without intentionally being funny. But I have sent pictures to, especially when you get unsolicited dick pics. I will very often send pictures back of someone else and claim that that's me and wind them the fuck up.
But I
wouldn't class them as a prospective partner.
Let me tell you now, anyone ever sends me fucking nudes, I will post them publicly. Don't send them
nudes.
How about if we send you all the ones that we get? Some more of an education experience.
Why would I want them?
I don't have a good reason.
I want them?
Tell us why you'd want them.
No, I ever get anything unsolicited, it'll go back in public.
Sarah says, I see how Dave is. How is Dave? B gets +5 stream points for content animal. I assume you showing your pussy on stream again?
Oh! Yeah, he just pops on whenever he wants. I have 2 different colors. Depends on the day or the moment, which one hops on.
I haven't answered the question.
Jenny.
I'm not going to answer the question.
Then why would you tell me you haven't?
And by the way, Ox, I'll have you know that this is the biggest pussy I've ever had in my life. Dun-dun-dun.
Jenny.
No, I would never do such a thing. That is just stupid. Grossly
Never.
Yeah,
insane.
it's so dishonest anyways. That's what gets me about it. It's just so, I mean, God, that's just blatant
I
lying.
wouldn't even do that if I was married to somebody for a dozen years or something. I would. That's just dumb.
Oh, you talking about nudes in general?
Well, yeah. Why do I want to put my body parts out on the internet? Once they're out there, they're out there.
So, but,
Oh yeah, don't put them on the
But
internet.
this is the problem. This is the problem. So what?
Oh, so what?
And that's that's literally my opinion of it, because then we're stuck in this. We're still stuck in this fucking Christian purity shit.
Well,
Right, it doesn't matter.
Your page of your dick from 50 angles.
No, but my point is you don't particularly want to, but it doesn't matter that they're out there. They're out there with. I mean, if you were the only person that had pictures out there, that would be something really weird. Like the fact that there are billions now of pictures,
So we've
it's
given up
nothing.
on self-respect, huh?
How is that self? Again, you're told that's a self-respect thing. How is that a self-respect thing? You have been made to be ashamed of your body by the culture you grew up in, and then they tell you that it's self-respect by not showing people.
Dave, you seen my body, you'd be fucking ashamed of it as well.
Yeah, same here.
Exactly.
You shouldn't be. This is the point. Right, next question. Before I get
Moving
something
on.
thrown at me. Something thrown at
Some
me.
imprinting is far too deep to remove.
No, I totally agree. I would not criticise anyone that genuinely doesn't want it for that reason. I mean, when I have an idea of how I view society, and how it should be, and I know that we can't go from there to there. That those things that you have literally been, what your brain has been wired to believe, you cannot change. I know there are lots of things that I intellectually think are okay, but I still find creep me out. Because I know because I was wired. Not this question. Right, next question. Question 1379. Do you think politicians that knowingly work against the proper functioning of a government should be penalised and potentially excluded from holding public office? Not that this
Say
is
that
now-
again. I was distracted by a cat and missed the first 4 or 5 words. Please.
Question 1379. Do you think politicians that knowingly work against the proper functioning of a government should be penalised and potentially excluded from holding public office?
Penal.
Well, yeah, I think that any of them that are dishonest should be kicked out. So we'll be down to what, 5 in the nation?
Not even that.
I'm
Not even
inclined to
that.
agree with that. I think
Thanks, man. Not
I
even
think
that.
if a politician lies to the people, they should be removed from office and not allowed to take office again.
God says yes. Now they're all talking about nudes. Oh, hello, Ricardo.
Started
Ox
it,
says yes. Seraphim says yes. God says, and stoned in the village by the poor. Fair enough.
Yeah,
Dog says absolutely, they're forever untrustworthy.
I could get on board with the stoning by the poor.
Jenny.
Absolutely, they should be punished and drawn and quartered.
That's a bit unnecessary.
Is it?
See, I'm not. See, this is the problem. I'm not convinced it's not. I think that I think we talked about it before. I think punishment in crimes should be proportional to the level of trust given to you. Yeah. You know, for example, no, I'm not going to soapbox. Not going to soapbox. But the point is, you are expecting a level of trust from a public official. You are giving them this level of trust, and I think that every crime they do that breaks that should be worse. Their punishment should be worse than if a normal person was to do it. Because you're breaking.
I agree. I agree because it's a matter of, we're supposed to trust the people that we have in our government.
Yes.
Oh God, this is going to go on a really big tangent. We shouldn't do this, Dave.
Go on.
We're supposed to trust them, and they're supposed to be representing us, and they are our employees. And if employees lie and do fucked up shit, they get fired. Mm-hmm. So I don't understand why we can't just fire all of them that do it.
Uhan says we need to fire Congress and start over. Dog says they should have their dicks slammed in a fridge door.
Yep, absolutely.
What if they're a female?
Yes, what if they're female?
Nipple?
Yes.
Lone Wanderer says throw the politician in jail, make an example. Hang them in the town square for all to see. Ox says, not in America. Here you get 10 years for stealing a pack of gum and 60 days for murder.
Hell yeah. That's the way it should be.
Pack of gum interferes with corporations, whereas the murder just frees up a slot for another worker drone.
Manda.
Yes.
Just yes. Badger?
Say the question again.
Do you think politicians that knowingly work against the proper functioning of a government should be penalised and potentially excluded from holding public office?
Yes. I think if a politician is shown to lie once, they should never be able to take office again.
I like that idea. Chad says, I think we should bring back the Greek tradition of ostracising unpopular politicians. Every year we revoke the citizenship of the worst government official. How do you rate them? Rate my politician. I suppose you could do it upon approval ratings locally.
Well, the approval rating based on what they've done or accomplished. Put the list of their good things and list of their bad things. Well, like these 4 congressmen right now, who they're going. You do know that these 4 guys gave reconnaissance tours to all the Proud Boys the day before the riots.
And this is what I mean by
be punished. Those guys should just be punished. They should be buried in an unmarked grave, and their families expelled to a foreign country. This is like, how bad can you get as a politician than to help create or improve or affect a riot against your government, against your nation? Yeah, they should be fucking punished.
Jeff.
Right. The wording of the question doesn't imply lying.
No, it doesn't.
It does not imply lying. Now, so where exactly are we going? We're talking about the proper functioning of a government. Now, if there is a problem with the system to begin with, and you are trying effectively to get reform, would that actually count as what you are as in your scenario here?
Attempting to reform it through the channels of government. That would be considered acceptable. Having a rally outside of a capital building.
I know we're all thinking about the orange dickhead at the moment, but this is perhaps where where I may have a bit of a different opinion upon this, because I'm not always convinced that you can actually work. You can actually work to reform within the system, and even revolutionary. But there is, even for revolutionary politicians, there is a point to standing in elections, even if you are not. Generally, if anything, it's to get you somewhat of a platform.
Yeah.
So I've got very mixed feelings on this. because the way the question was implied, I think everyone went with, yeah, if they lie, they should be out, or misrepresent people, they should be out. Yes, I absolutely think any democratic society should have the right of recall. I think a really better democratic society is that they shouldn't be earning any less than the average national wage. Would be a lot better as well. Yeah, they should be earning any more.
Yes, I think there are several things like that.
But yeah, it's just the way it was worded that I wanted some clarification on that, because I don't necessarily know that I totally agree with going outside of the system at times, because it needs to be. There's times it needs to be done.
I'm not convinced. I think there are systems in place. Well, in the UK and the US, I can speak for, because I know there are systems in place to do virtually everything.
Yeah, but there are systems, but then sometimes, I mean, the good example would be with women's suffrage movement. They went outside the rules because they weren't getting heard.
No, but they didn't have at that point. Until you had universal suffrage, there was no other option.
Yeah, exactly. There are those scenarios and technically, a politician doesn't necessarily mean someone who is an elected official. To be an activist in this as well.
Yes.
So this is perhaps where I differ a little bit, because I know the only reason I know where everyone was immediately thinking of this because of what happened last week, and absolutely, that asshole needs to be impeached, and he should never be allowed anywhere near any kind of public offices again.
Yes,
never be allowed near a pub either.
No, he doesn't. So no, he shouldn't. Ricardo says, temporarily we need to bring back the guillotines. Then we may go with the Canadian Viking option. Ricardo says, I said they should use the gallows the protesters had at the Capitol on Trump, but I got called evil for it. Chad says, I will be a benevolent dictator. Right. Before we go to the next question, who's humming really badly?
Any title you want to take for yourself that you have to put the word benevolent in the beginning of it to justify it's okay to do that, it's not okay to do that.
I don't think there's no such thing as a benevolent dictator.
Yeah,
I would be benevolent. I was very firmly down on the until I was firmly down with everyone else on yes, they should be excluded, yes, they should be penalised, and then Jeff decided to throw a spanner in the works. But yes,
Jeff.
Fuck's sake, Jeff.
That guy.
Right. Next question. Where are we up to? Oh, we've got loads of time. Right. Question 1380. Do you feel your name reflects who you really are? In other words, do you identify with your name or do you hate it?
Oh, I can answer that easy.
Go on.
That's why I shortened mine, so I could identify with it.
So you identify with B?
Yes. And none of the other ones I've ever used in my life.
I think several of us here have kind of used the abbreviated versions of our name.
Yep.
So,
but do you identify with your shortened versions more than your long versions?
Yeah, I prefer the short. Slightly prefer the shorter version. I'm not. It's just the name I've been given. So it is what it is.
We got it here. Seraphim says, I do not identify with my name. Do you... Atheist Donna says, I love my name. Ox says, Ox, yes, absolutely. See, how many people have identified with their names that they've given themselves in here, rather than their real names? Nerdy says, I identify with Nerdy Rodent. MathPig plugs something, but I can't click the link. God the Good One says, lol, my YouTube name. Oh, I've forgotten God's real name.
So Jehovah or Yahweh, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. Never Again says no. Lone Wanderer says, I hate my name. It's not me, but I don't know who else I would be. Godless Granny says, I identify with Godless Granny. Kelly says nothing about me. Wild Eden says, real name or YouTube name. Either. Do you identify with one of them or not? Yandiri says, my name means boulder. I hate it. God, the good one. Oh, fuck, yeah, that's me, defo. Yeah, he's God. He identifies with it. I answer to Sarah more often than my real name, says Seraphim. Yuhan says, not many actually know my real name, even though it's not a private piece of info. But do you identify which would you identify more with? I got Ox name about 35 years ago. I earned it. Jess says, nah, my name has Christian roots. Ricardo just says, it's a name. Wild Eden says, I identify my real name and my YouTube name. Rainbug says, are you born again math pig now? Jeff, you didn't actually answer. Do you identify with Jeff? Do you see yourself as a Jeff?
What? I just answered, didn't I?
No.
There you go.
What if you knew someone was spelling it differently? Jeff.
The Jeff Goldblum way.
Yeah, exactly. That's just that's just a lazy way of spelling it. You see, that's all it is. So
if someone called you Jeff in chat with a J, you identify with that. You would see that as you.
No, I wouldn't.
No. Jenny.
Well, it just started out life. No, absolutely, I hated it, but now I'm absolutely 100% identified with it.
Manda?
I knew you were going to say that because you chose it.
Yes, well, I thought she'd have the easiest.
It's not my given name; it's my taken name.
Yes.
Yeah, right. It's your real name, not your given. Right.
Yep.
Manda?
I don't identify with the meaning of the name. Yes. So, but I don't know. I never really. The sound of it. It's just what I know, I guess.
What do you call you? Do you call yourself Amanda or Manda or any of the other terrible variations?
Amanda.
Yeah. Not one of the other versions, which we were not going to say.
Please
No.
don't.
No, we're not. We're not.
Never Again says.
I love when you use a Mandalorian. I think that's just so.
That was
I just love it.
That's a great one. It is.
Yeah, I identify with that one. How about that?
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, sorry.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Yeah, I fallen asleep 2 hours ago after like 3 days of no sleep and just woke up. I feel so bad. I am so sorry.
It's okay. Just give me a second to catch up on the chat, then I will ask you. Never Again says, I did choose to be called Sandy instead of the long version, and my family did not like it, so I do like that part of it. Chad says, I've always tried to live up to mine. Chadwick means the land of Canada. Yeah, but you're not called Chadwick. You're called Chad. It's a shame I'm a walking meme now. Dog says, at this moment in history...
My name means God's heavenly peace, so...
God's heavenly.
Piece of what?
No, his peace.
No.
His peace.
Oh, that kind of piece. I'm sorry.
At this moment in history, I don't identify with my name or the shortened version of it, as it's the same as a certain orange fat hemorrhoid.
Oh dear.
Shut the fuck up, Johnny.
My real name is spelled the same forwards and backwards.
You think he uses his bronzing gel all the way back there?
He doesn't manage to use it up here, so I don't see why he would. I think he'd cheap out on it. Now everyone's calling you Jeff, just for the hell of it. Right, Johan says, I've had this username for so many years across virtually every online platform, so my name is my default online name. What's really weird is Critical Cripple is a new name to me that I don't particularly identify with, I would say. I've been known as many different names in different games, but most of them revolved around Dave in some way. Or random. I was random for a good 10 years. The Critical Cripple is only a couple of years old to me. Badger.
Hello.
Do you identify with Badger? And do you identify with your real name that no one knows?
That's an interesting question, you see. I identify with Badger under certain circumstances, like when I'm having discussions online. There are other names I use which I identify with depending on the context I'm in. All of them say something about a different aspect of my personality, and in many ways are more meaningful than the name that I was given by others, because they're chosen by me, so that they say something about how I want to present myself.
Nerdy thinks your real name is Foul-Tempered Ferret.
Yeah, well, Nerdy's a pickle, so.
Nerdy said something else in the chat. I don't know if you want to scroll up and read it, Badger.
But there's also the thing about whatever the fuck I'm talking about. Oh yeah, there is history to the name that I was given by family, so that I do identify with that. It does have meaning for me, but it's not the same meaning as ones that I've chosen for myself. That's got the history of that's got family history and stuff, whereas the ones I choose have personal meaning.
I think we should start using the name Badger as a guy's name that parents give. I mean, we call guys Tiger,
Well, some people do,
and we call guys Wolf. Why not Badger?
I think I have.
Then there's women who are called Cougar, right?
Sure.
What am I scrolling up for here, Jeff?
No idea. Oddly enough, with it, Quentin. He's gone again.
Oh, he fell back asleep.
No, I kind of identify with both. I earned the nickname Ginger Jesus, and kind of doing like I go by Quentin instead of my adopted name out of like respect to my mom. So, a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Right, here's a question: does anyone particularly identify with their surname?
There's.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm intrigued because I don't particularly. That's why I thought I'd ask. It doesn't seem like anyone has strong either way. Right.
You?
No, not my surname. I identify with Dave mostly. Some of the time, not. But meh.
I only identify with my last name because I don't like it because it was my father's. I like it because the history of growing up with my family, my brothers and sisters, and my mother, and everybody knowing us by it, and blah blah blah.
Because it's one of those weird things. I have a very weird relationship with your surname because it's not yours. It's someone else's.
I identify with my surname just to see how many people can say it incorrectly.
I have no idea what your surname is.
I can say anyone's name
It's
incorrectly.
Quentin Phipps, and you get so many people that'll say Phillips, and there's no L in there, and it's literally spelled Phipps. There is no L at all.
All right, I didn't know that was your surname. I didn't think it was your surname.
People also say Sherbert. I didn't think of it at the time, but I should have. I wish I would have, and I would have done it. I wish I would have taken my mom's maiden name.
Yeah.
For my last name.
Yeah. Right. Now we're talking about maiden names. We got sidetracked in the chat. Very much so. Right. What time are we at? Crap. Right, we've got 2 questions. Oh, we can't have 2 questions. Shit.
We'll have 2 questions.
We'll have 3 questions. Right. Okay.
Just to let you know, Dave.
So we'll have 3.
I'm going to go after this one because I have to get to work. But
no worries. That's fine.
Okay.
Yes, because I need to get that one in. Right. Question 1381. In 1381, Wat Tyler led the Peasants Revolt. Do you think it's possible to have an equivalent workers' revolt in a Western country today?
Easily.
You think? You don't think people are too comfortable?
I think it's a little harder in a Western sort of democracy than it would be in, say, a dictatorship. That's generally where they tend to happen. But I think it is very plausible that it could happen. It's
B?
I don't think it will ever happen in a large Western democracy. I cannot imagine the majority of workers being so upset that they're going to physically take charge and revolt. They're too satisfied with their flat screen TV and their 2 SUVs and their air conditioning and stuff. They're so complacent and apathetic. I just don't see it happening.
That's pretty much what I was going to say. You just said it better than I would. Yeah, no, I agree. People will sit here and be armchair warriors all day, but they won't. And I'm not going to say I do, but then again, I don't say I'm going to go protest and then don't do it. I just don't. Yeah. I know I'm not going to do it. I know I'm too lazy.
Until it affects you personally, he will do it. And it affects a lot of people personally. So this is why we can end up having things like general strikes and whatever. Of course, so, I mean, I would never trust them in union leaders to lead a revolt because they're kind of they're not revolutionaries in their own right. So,
I should tell you my stories later on about going into contact with unions. I was very disturbed.
It depends on the job.
Seraphim says yes. God then says nurses and teachers go on strike for a change in toilet paper. No. Godless Granny says we had one at the Capitol last week. That wasn't really a workers' revolt.
That wasn't a workers' revolt. No.
I thought that was a knobheads revolt.
Nerdy says nah, they'd just fire everyone and hire new, cheaper workers. Disturbingly, probably. That's how the situation we are in.
I mean,
sounds sadly correct to me.
That's kind of why we didn't do it at McDonald's, because we knew we would just get fired and replaced.
Yep. Ox says, not in today's world. You can't get enough people to work together for a revolt.
But there have been strikes over unionisation in fast food though, recently.
Yeah, that's true.
It's all right, they'll stop soon. With the employment rate going the way it is, it'll be solved, no problem. Atheist Honor says, I'd strike if I knew my patients would be okay. Yeah, hanging on badly there. Never Again says, can't risk it if it doesn't affect me personally now, Jeff. Not brave enough to get locked up again. Johnny says, I was the youngest US door shop steward in the UK, 19. Great way to get out of work. Union business, bye. The problem is the unions have achieved an awful lot. I can't deny that.
Yeah, they absolutely have.
And some unions are fantastic. I still use some unions. I find it very odd, this merging up and more power. But
I don't like them. I was very against Unite, the Transport and General Workers and Amicus joining to form Unite. Because I think to me it shows defeatism that they're trying to merge themselves to make big unions, rather than actually going out and recruiting people to actually join their unions, which is what they should be doing.
Yeah. Sounds about right. Right. Jenny. Oh, we did Jenny. Manda.
What do we do to Jenny?
No.
You don't know. Fair enough. That's valid.
No, I said no.
Oh, you don't think so? Why not?
Because I think that the governments and stuff and military and everything, or not military, but those in charge would be they're just too powerful, and I just don't think that. Yeah, I don't think that the workers would be able to withstand.
Vincent?
I just think it depends on the job. It might work, it might not, but I don't really know.
I mean, let's be honest. It's not going to happen anytime soon. I think that's
Yeah,
even I say that. But do I think it is impossible? No. Especially if you get any society that becomes unhealthy for whatever reason. So like Lenin said, the conditions arise when the ruling class can't go in the old way, and the working class will refuse to go on in the old way. That's the simplified version of it. Those are the conditions that it need. Now, I don't think there is the conditions in certainly Britain or the United States right now for there to be revolutions, but there would if there is a breakdown in that. You'd be very surprised. If you think that necessarily the military is just going to come in and force everyone back, because if it really gets messed up, a lot of them tend to affect different sides. And people go back and look at the events in the Middle East in 2011.
Yuhan says, I don't think it could be pulled off these days. Nerdy Rodent says, it's really difficult to get kids to clean my chimney nowadays. Badger!
Hello.
What do you think?
What is the exact phrasing of the question?
Oh, fucking hell. In 1381, Wat Tyler led the Peasants Revolt.
Uh-huh.
Do you think it's possible to have an equivalent workers' revolt in a Western country nowadays?
I think it's very unlikely.
Very unlikely.
Because people hate each other.
That's
like
very valid.
I would have difficulty uniting in revolt with someone who thinks Disney's canon.
So most of the population.
That's glad to see you got your priorities in order there.
So, you know,
Did I mention that society is really shallow today?
Yes.
Yes, they are very shallow, Jenny, and they're
think
also very lazy.
I think there are too many of these
Comfortable.
I think there are too many of these little things that would mean that it wouldn't be possible for people to work together long enough to have a proper job revolt.
See, I'm of the averse in that. I think that if conditions were right economically, and there were some smaller scale private enterprise worker strikes that were put on and that lasted, that it would be conceivable for over time for those worker strikes to join and expand and become quite a nasty issue for corporate America to have to deal with.
I think the biggest problem is the working class in Britain, United States. They've forgotten their own history, and they actually have power. They've absolutely forgotten that lesson.
Absolutely.
So I think we're gonna go with no, but not impossible as an answer.
Well, okay. I mean, could be interesting because let's think that you said the Peasants' Revolt.
Yeah.
Something that happened a decade or two before that kind of caused the conditions for the Peasants' Revolt. You know what that was? It's a pandemic.
Yes,
a pandemic.
It was a pandemic, but it wasn't a pandemic that mostly affected old people. We shall see. Right, Nerdy says, how many billionaires were there in 1381? I can categorically tell you, in my expert opinion, there were none. I might be wrong about that. There might have been one guy in Africa that was so wealthy he might have counted as a billionaire. I can't remember his name and I can't quite remember his dates, but I think they were around then.
But because of the fact that the Peasants' Revolt actually caused a massive labour shortage afterwards, kind of meant that those who were left could suddenly were able to charge a bit more of a reasonable.
We're heading the other way.
Right. Yeah,
we're heading to a point of mass employment availability, or a surplus of employable people. Mass unemployment, which is not necessarily, unless you can get enough people unemployed, which can lead to some sort of revolt. Otherwise, you're screwed. Right. Before we go on to the penultimate question, do you need to run away, Pete?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go. But thank you, Dave. And it
Thank you
was
very much for
lovely
coming.
seeing all of you beautiful people up here. And bye to everybody in the chat. And I love you guys. And I'm gonna scoot. Have a great day.
See you soon.
Later, Pete.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Work. Right.
Did you answer, Dave?
I
You
kind
did
of summed
answer.
up as an answer.
Okay.
There's more a consensus. Right, next question. Penultimate question.
Thanks.
Question 1382. How long do you think you could date yourself before you drove yourself nuts?
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half. See, I gave myself a week on this. I thought I could last a week.
5 minutes.
To be honest, I think I would come to the conclusion that I totally understand why nobody wants to date me.
Nerdy says, I could date myself forever. I'm freaking awesome. Rab1 says, 1 day. Never Again says 24/7. Manda.
No, like not even a minute.
Jess says, I'm already nuts. I couldn't deal with me for 5 minutes. Donna says, forever.
I do it. Yeah, Donna.
Well, Donna's so cool. Donna's-
Duhan says, I'd sleep with me on the first date. Yes, me too. Jenny.
I said an hour and a half tops.
An hour and a
Well,
half.
It wouldn't take that long to know why nobody wants to hang around. It would just take that long for me to accept it. All pretty obvious.
Ricardo says, God.
I'd give it about 10 to 15 minutes of.
Ricardo says, I would never date me. I would be a one-night stand. Chad says, I would settle for me. Donna says, you just want me for my ass, Manda.
I was
David-
typing in so much more than that. So.
David Melbourne says, well, I'm really good looking, funny, and a decent lover, so 2 months tops.
Okay.
Dog says, you're hanging out with the wrong crowd, Jeff.
I've been told that for a while now, but
Nerdy
that's
says,
no way. That's no way to talk about the rest of the panel, by the way, dog.
Nerdy says, I'm trying to remember how many people I didn't sleep with on the first date.
I
Ox
ended up throwing myself down a flight of stairs after the first 5 minutes, so.
Is that a question?
No. Ox says, I wouldn't date me. I'm an arsehole at times, and I don't like fat old men. Harmonica Man says 1 minute. Never Again says, hey, it took me a long time to learn to love myself. Fuck it, people take it the wrong way, lol. We intentionally take it the wrong way. Badger,
Hello.
how long?
Probably quite a while actually, because I'm an antisocial motherfucker. So I could just sit by myself and like occasionally call myself and then, how are you? Yeah, doing all right.
Want to watch the original Star Wars?
Yeah. Do you want to watch some Star Wars? Yeah. Do you want to do a bit of role play later on? Yeah, why not? And then, should we then not talk for a week? Yeah, sounds good.
But if one of you says want to watch Disney Star Wars, that's the end of the relationship.
Yeah, but they wouldn't. That's
Well,
the
no.
problem.
Not necessarily, because one might say to the other, yeah, do you want to watch that Disney Star Wars and then compare notes on it so we can make a video telling everyone how shit it is?
He get excited about watching Disney Star Wars.
Like I said, I already drive myself nuts, so like meeting myself would end up probably one of us being murdered. Just gonna put that out there.
Nerdy says Misa watch a Disney Star Wars.
I'm not doing
No, Misa is
nerding.
not.
I'm not going to do it.
Rainbow says I'm a bit of a drama queen. That will get old fast. Oh, here's some good answers. I think some people think a lot more of themselves than others do. Right.
Yeah, it should be no surprise by now that I don't necessarily have the highest opinion of myself. So, you know,
I think you have a terrible opinion of yourself that is undeserved.
probably do, but well.
Right. Last question.
Dave,
I answered.
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
I
What
said
did you
about a
say?
week.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
See, Never Again says some of us have to think well of ourselves because other people don't see us. You should think more of yourself. Right, last question. Question 1383. Would you rather sleepwalk every night or sleep talk every night?
Walk.
Talk.
Definitely
I would
walk.
just like to sleep. Is that an answer?
No.
You were literally just sleeping, Quentin.
Yes.
Yeah, I got about an hour.
Now it's at first it was 3, then it was 2, now it's 1.
No, like I said, I went to sleep 2 hours ago, or tried to, and got about an hour.
Lone Wanderer says sleepwalk. Tobin says talk. Linda says walk. Ox says talk.
I'm going to say talk.
Why?
Because I don't really want to go walking round.
I used to
bump
do
into
both,
Could be
actually.
dangerous.
Say again?
When I was younger, I used to do both, and they were both terrifying to anybody that lived with me, so...
I
Linda?
talk in my sleep now. I wake myself up all the time talking.
So you
kinda
prefer to
weird.
talk?
Well, yeah, because walking could be very dangerous.
Normally you don't walk yourself to death. Never Again says I keep the talking part. I'd fall down if I walked. I already talk. Nerdy says I'd be sleep talking. I could write a book in my sleep or stream. The options are endless. You never heard of sleep talker? Dog says talk. I have nothing to hide. Wuhan says I've never had sleepwalking, so probably that just to say it happened. Harmonica Man says I already sleep, talk, fight, yell, etc. Jess says last time I sleepwalked, I left my door wide open, lost the cat. I do talk still. I prefer that. And Deary says sleep talk. People die during sleepwalks. Rarely. Donna says walk. Fuck knows what I'd say.
That's a good
Ark
point.
says talk. I got no secrets I'm worried about saying, but walking could end in pain. As you get older, the pain lasts longer. Amanda,
Talk
talk.
for that. I don't want to bump into shit.
Choice, I'd say I want to sleep. Fuck.
That happens. Are you not worried that you blurt out all your secrets?
No, I just think it would be fair for me to be asleep while I'm having sex, because that's generally what I've done to all my partners, is put them to sleep. So
Not good. Badger,
Hello.
that's not an answer.
I would go for walking.
Go walking. Why?
Because I do not want. I would rather walk than talk while not in control of myself.
Fair enough. Chad says, I'd say talk because I wouldn't mind if people got to know me better, for better or worse. Nerdy says, apparently I talk in my sleep anyway, and one partner that sleep screamed. Apparently I sleep argue. Dog says, sleepwalkers are usually fully aware of their surroundings, as it's the subconscious that's affected. Right. Anyone else got anything to add before we run away?
I mean, I think when sleep talk, it's just a bunch of dribble. At least that's what happens when I sleep talk. It's just me trying to say something really weird and random. So
You're not giving much away.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I just woken up. What's been going on?
Doug says, my wife sleep cries after sex. That sounds very sad.
I'm not touching that.
I've been caught sleep talking and quoting technical manuals. That's really embarrassing.
I already feel like I sleep walk when I wake up. I feel like I've walked a marathon. And I've repeatedly sleep talked. I've had entire conversations I've been told about the next day. My daughter used to take advantage of it. She'd get me to agree to things when I was asleep.
Yep, I can see that happening.
Right. On that note, does anyone have anything to shill?
Robbie's Math Pig has a show at 5 Eastern tonight with Mike. Alright, someone wants to throw up the link, please.
I'm doing Linda's show in a couple of hours.
Is that not at 6? That's not an hour?
Or it's either an hour or 2 hours.
2 hours.
No, it's less than an hour now.
It's less than an hour.
Less than an hour. So
put the link in and put the link into. Someone put the link into Math Pigs and someone put the link into Linda's. Anyone else?
Just doing this show tomorrow morning again, and movie night.
Tomorrow afternoon.
Well, whatever. I got it written down somewhere.
It's Friday tomorrow. I'll do that in a minute. Right, tomorrow we have got... It is at 4:30, which is 11:30 EST. We have got Nerdy Rodent. We have got A Bit of Tea in Danish, Linda. We have got Jenny. We have got Amiga Nuts. And we have got Purple. And we've either got Jeff or someone else. I will find out later today. Other than that, I need to say thank you to Bad Tempered Badger.
Hello. Email me if you want to email me. It's badger@cock.li. Disney's not canon. Fuck all of you. I don't know. I wasn't ready.
No, I know. Thank you to Jeff.
Disney is canon.
Thank you to Jenny. Thank you to Quinton.
Yep.
And thank you to Manda.
Thanks for having me.
And we will see you tomorrow. Thank you for coming. Bye.
It's always nice to come.